Okay, I am about to teach you how to create more volume in your hair by laying your hair flatter. Swear to you, no lie, I am going to walk you through an incredibly important and powerful principle and actually how to use that principle to make your styling process even easier, all while creating the illusion of more volume by laying your hair flatter. Yes, it sounds insane, so why don't we dive in? Okay, what I'm about to teach you is a skill that I believe most stylists use and don't even realize they're doing it. Now, there are tons of videos online that teach you all about how to use products and how to use different tools and techniques to create more volume. And they're very important videos and they're not wrong. However, what I'm gonna share with you today is something that actually, in my opinion, is as important, if not more important, than simply creating just volume in general. You might be saying, but whoa, dude, I don't need to learn how to not create volume in my hair. My hair lays flat all by itself. The problem is creating volume. I am with you 100%. And that is why this is so important. Now, here's the thing that we have to understand. This whole video is predicated on an extremely important principle. And that principle is that volume is an optical illusion. I'm full of them today, right? Okay, let me explain how that works. The more volume you have in one area, the less volume it will appear as you have in another area, and vice versa. So let's imagine that you're trying to create more volume in the top. But one quick way to have the illusion that there's more volume in the top is simply taking volume out of the sides. The more volume there is in the sides of your hair, the less volume it's going to appear that you have on the top. Now, understanding this key principle is absolutely a game changer when it comes to creating volume in your hair. Now, one massive misconception is the idea that we just want to create volume all over. Just in general, we want bigger hair. And that is absolutely not true. And the way I know that this isn't true is because if you have ever seen a friend or had a hairstyle that you saw on yourself that you thought, man, that looks amazing on you, it's because that hairstyle doesn't just have volume, it has shape. So what's the difference between volume and shape? Well, it's simple. Volume is just having lift, right? Fluff, round hair. Sometimes it can look like a bowling ball. However, shape is when volume is in the right areas and therefore accentuates certain things about somebody's face shape or your face shape. So let's say, for instance, you're trying to create more fullness in your face because you feel like your face is too long. Well, in that case, you don't want to just have volume all over, and you don't want to have just volume on the top. You actually want to have a little bit more volume on the sides to help offset that length and create more fullness. One fantastic way to do that is not to just try to create a bunch of volume on the sides. It's simply adding that little bit of volume on the sides and actually taking volume out of the top to help create the illusion there's more volume on the sides. Now, this trick is actually seen quite often when we do bangs. Bangs basically create the illusion that there's a little bit less volume because it brings that eye down and makes it look a little bit flatter. And that creates a little bit more illusion that there's more volume on the sides, which then inherently adds the width to somebody's face that they're trying to achieve, which is many times the reason that people will move to bangs is because they're trying to cover up some of the length in their face. Now, this goes the same way if you're trying to, say, elongate your face because you feel that it's too round. In that case, you want a little bit less volume on the sides and a little bit more volume on top, and there you go. Now it's starting to elongate your face shape. Maybe you're trying to accentuate more cheekbones or cheek structure. Well, it's simple. Having a little bit more volume around the temple area and laying those sides a little bit flatter, that actually goes a long way to accentuating your cheekbones. So this is why it's so important to understand this key fundamental. And what I'm gonna do today is walk you through 5 very simple little hair hacks that are gonna help you achieve that to make your drying process a whole lot easier. Okay, the first hack we're diving into is right after you get out of the shower, and that's the way you actually apply product. So it's important to understand how to appropriately apply product to create volume. Now, the fact of the matter is 9 out of 10 times, yes, you're gonna need some sort of product to create the foundation to get volume. It's a bit like trying to build a house without walls. So we need something to create that foundation, and I'm not here to tell you exactly what product to use, but use whatever product is most comfortable and functions best for you. However, the way you apply that product is important. For today's video, we're going to assume that we want to try to create more volume on the top, or on the temple area and the top of your head. So what we're going to do is when we apply that foundational product, we're going to be sure to apply that on the top, all the way from roots through midshaft, all the way to the ends. We need it everywhere because if you've watched any of my other videos, you've probably heard me say that volume is not created by root lift. Root lift is a component of volume, but root lift by itself is simply root lift. What you need is root lift, then you need bend from the midshaft all the way through the ends, and combining that bend with root lift, that creates true volume. And since we're only applying the product on the top from roots all the way through midshaft into the ends, I actually sectioned her hair off so that we put the sides and the back in a ponytail so that it didn't get in her way and accidentally get some of that product through the roots on the sides. Now go ahead and work that from the roots all the way through the midshaft and then kind of try to pull that through the ends on the top. Yep, so you can start right up there, get some in the back here, especially in that crown area back there. Now lean forward because it'll be easier. You can even comb that through if you need to. Then wherever you don't want volume, so in this scenario on the sides, we're actually only going to utilize product from the midshaft down. We're actually going to skip the roots, not have any product there, and we're actually going to use a little bit less product. We just want some product in that area to give us a little bit more control so that we can hold some of the bend so that the hair doesn't lay too flat. This next tip is an easy one, but it's an important one. If you're trying to create more volume, like today's example in the crown for instance, one thing that we can do is actually dry our hair upside down to help get a little more root lift. But the problem with this is when you do that, all of your hair goes upside down and you get root lift everywhere. But again, we don't want it on the sides. We actually want the sides to lay a little bit flatter. So what we're gonna do here is you're actually gonna section your hair off, pull the top up out of the way, and you're actually gonna use some clips to clip the sides down against your scalp. So if you have shorter hair, then you just get the top out of the way and then you pin the sides back with any sort of clip. But in this case of longer hair, then all you're gonna do is you're gonna put the sides in the back into a little ponytail. So we sectioned the top of Deanna's hair out of the way, and then I'll just give this to you and have you throw the back and the sides into a ponytail here. What this is doing is it's helping to actually keep those roots a little bit closer to the scalp so that while they do start to get dry as you're drying the top of your hair, they're gonna be more conformed to your scalp to alleviate any of that extra root volume. So then, just a matter of tilting your head completely forward, all the way down, blow drying your hair upside down. This is simply helping to create a little bit of that extra root lift. When you stand back up again, you can take your sides out of those clips and blow dry them down just like that. You can use a brush, you can use your hands, whatever you want to do, but the airflow is pointed down the hair shaft and the roots are being pressed up against the scalp. So this is again minimizing any of that concern of extra volume on the sides, which is going to maximize the illusion that there's more volume on top. Oh hey, and if you're new to me, my name is Justin Hickox. I started doing hair professionally in 1995, and typically I actually prefer to take you on adventures while I teach you about hair. And I actually did that today. However, the mosquitoes were so bad, I finally just had to throw in the white flag and say, I'm out, I quit, I'm heading home. So we are filming this video here in my condo. But I will say, if hair interests you and you want to learn more about it, or if you're getting value or learning anything from the video so far, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's right there. Do that. It's totally free. Cost you nothing. Yeah, but you can do that now. Now, the next little hack we're gonna use is how we use different tools. Wherever we want volume, we're actually gonna use a round brush. And where we don't want volume, we're gonna use a flat iron. Because a flat iron, like I said before, will still give the hair bend, but it has the ability to lay the hair a little bit sleeker. And that sleekness can give the illusion that it's got a little bit less volume to it. So for this particular situation, we're gonna use a flat iron on the sides, and then we're gonna style the top with a round brush. The reason for this is because a round brush does a really good job of giving a little bit more bend easier than a flat iron. Both can create bend, both can create volume, but in this particular circumstance, we're actually not gonna add as much bend with the flat iron. We're just gonna give it a little bit of bend, and then we're gonna use the fact that it smooths the hair out so much more efficiently to make it create that illusion that it's laying that hair a little bit flatter, which then is going to create the illusion that there's more volume on top where we wanna see more volume. Now, another trick is actually how you use that flat iron. Now, this is very important. If you're trying to create more volume in an area, you actually want to create more bend with the flat iron. However, if you're trying to create less volume, use a little bit less bend. So that means that if you're going to use a flat iron on all of your hair, and in this scenario, trying to create more volume on the top, use it to get a little bit more bend at the top, and that's going to help create a little bit more volume. But then on the sides, don't put quite as much bend in it, and that'll help it to lay a little bit flatter, which, you guessed it, it's going to make the top look like it's got more volume. Now, another trick you can use is actually this funny little thing right here. Now, if you've got wavy or curly hair, you know exactly what this is. Friends, this is a diffuser. Now, if you don't have curly hair, you might be thinking, well, I've seen that before, but that's only for people with curly hair. I got straight hair, I wouldn't use that. Well, you can. So this works both ways. It works with curly hair or it works with straight hair. What you're using this for is you're using it to just air dry your hair faster, but not lay it too flat. So follow me here. Now, this was originally developed to help break up the airflow of a dryer so that it didn't blow out of the dryer so hard and cause more frizz to curly hair. And it works very well for that. So if you've got curly hair, absolutely use that. Now, if your hair is straight, what you're using it for is just to give your hair a little bit of that fluff that it would naturally have if you let it air dry, so that it doesn't feel too flat to your head, but while at the same time, you're not manipulating your roots in any way, so you're not getting any more lift than you would naturally air dry your hair with. This is gonna help minimize that a little bit, because if your hair has a tendency to get any fullness, if you're drying it with a blow dryer, this will help to minimize some of that fullness and make that part look a little bit flatter. Okay, folks, so that is how you can actually use less volume to create more volume. Yeah, I know, I still feel like it sounds crazy, but you get my point, right? So if you learned something in that, I would love to hear about it. Let me know what trick helped you, and if you've got your own trick for creating volume, do me a favor, comment below, let us know about it, because hey, look, we all can learn from each other here, right? And standard YouTube stuff, if you actually like this content and you want to see more, every Tuesday I bring out a new video. There's a subscribe button right there. Go ahead and click that. So there's that. All right, well, I am gonna go hang out now.